Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 6th of April and I welcome you all at the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, let's start with the video. In the today's video, we are going to discuss entire analysis of Hindu newspaper. We'll take all the articles with the background. And I would like to tell you that if you want, you can also download the explainer notes of this session, and in this notes all the important information has been given. These explainer notes can be downloaded from our Telegram channel. Link is given in description box in YouTube. Now first of all, let's see overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that actually which articles are important in the today's newspaper. So here we see that the first article, Supreme Court says critical views on government policies not anti-establishment. We'll see this particular article for the exam. Then there is this article, Indian agency gets gear from Pegasus rival. So guys, the article is talking about that an Indian defense agency is buying the equipment from a company, that is this Cognite. Now it is saying that this basically firm has regularly targeted the journalists, dissidents, and such kind of people. Now we are not required to go too much in detail in this particular kind of an article for our examination. Then main suspect in Kerala train fire case arrested. Much important thing for your UPSC is not there. Then these advertisements. Then moving on guys, in the regional section, so in the regional section we have these regional political news. Okay, not important for your examination. So guys, so we will be moving on, and then advertisements, etc. Again, all these kind of things have been filled here. So directly we'll move to editorial page. Now on editorial page, the first article, a long view of the South Asian drama. We'll see this particular article. Then a takeaway from the UN World Water Conference. We'll see this article also. Now you see this article. Now article talks about that recently two of the multilateral institutions find they have come out with their growth outlook. Okay, and regional economic outlook for this year. What they have done, basically India's growth prospects have been scaled down. Okay, so guys, here all the data, estimates fine are being given. Now understand this particular thing, that GDP estimates you are not required to see. Why? Because these things will be changing a lot depending on the economic situations that will undergo the change. Moreover, these are just the estimates, the speculations. Fine, they are not asked in our examination. Then going down, so Rahul's appeal needs urgent hearing. So guys, we have seen, I think, 4 or 5 articles at least, or even more than that, on the Rahul Gandhi's disqualification as well as the defamation case. Now guys, against this particular thing, the appeal has been filed. Okay, now you are not required to track this development every day. Then the obstacles against humane policing, we'll see this article. The fight over Savarkar's legacy. Now the article has a political undertone, not very much important. Fine, close to half cases in high courts pending for 5 years. So guys, the article is talking about that increasing pendency. Now you can see that into the different states, different states in different year, 2018, 19, 20, 21. Fine, it is talking about that how many of the cases are pending for the past 5 years. Okay, so these are the things that are being talked about. Then the data state wise is being given. Now you are not required to remember every state's data, because you cannot do that, and even that is not important. Just if you are preparing from for some state PCS exam, just you can see your state, what is the status. Then NPCI's new circular on levy charges. Will see this particular issue because recently this news came that NPCI will be charging 1.1% charges. So briefly we will go, not too much detail you need to go in this article, but briefly we'll see. Then what is the open source seed movement? We'll see this particular article as well. Then understanding the Mughals, there are lessons to be learned from every king. So this is guys a bibliography article. Now what happens in the bibliography article, so basically they take certain basically released books premise and just give the plot of these particular books. Okay, now guys, the article is talking about basically the article is talking about certain references from the Mughal kings. Now academically much of important substance is not there, but if you have some interest in such writings, you can see this particular article. Then further moving on, political leaders cannot claim higher immunity. Cannot claim higher immunity, Supreme Court. Now this particular article guys will take what it is talking about. Then we have all these political articles, no need to go there for your exam. Russian envoy praises India's deeper understanding of the Ukraine crisis at trade meet. Fine. Then again, the political articles etc. have been given. Not declaring deletions in textbook and oversight, says head of NCERT. So guys, this political issue is going on, that now the government is trying to rewrite the history. Many of the references from Gandhiji are being dropped, many other references are being dropped, and such kind of things are going on. So no need to go here, fine, in such kind of thing. Then after that, guys, moving on, not much important articles are there for your examination. Defendant Trump claims criminal charges as insult to our country. Okay, now guys, understand this particular thing, that we have seen that recently the Donald Trump, okay, charges have been pressed against him. Now you are not required again, fine, to go and see these particular kind of developments, clashes erupt in Israel. Guys, understand this particular thing, that I ask you that many articles, fine, you need not to go, because understand this thing, that these articles are such on which question relevant to exam cannot be formed. You will be going in too much of detail, that wasting a lot of time. Okay, so we need to learn that particular art. Then services PMI signals slowdown in sector growth in March. S&P. Okay, so S&P Standard & Poor Global has released its report on that. Sensex surges 1%. Now, are you required to go and see it every day where the Sensex is moving? Not very much important. Fine. Then delivery firm Borzo aims to quadruple shipments. Fine. And after this, we have this sports page. So this is, guys, the overview of the entire newspaper. And now let's see the relevant articles which are important in the exam one by one in detail. Now starting up. Okay, so every class we start with the GS quotation. So guys, today we'll take the quotation from Helbert Hubbard. He says, responsibility is the price of freedom. Now, when we talk about the freedom, we often misunderstand freedom as a license. But freedom is not a license to do whatever you want. But freedom comes with a responsibility to understand the reasonable restrictions on your freedom. If everybody will have an absolute freedom, the society will come to a standstill. There will be a chaos that will come in society. So everybody, while exercising freedom, needs to understand their duty. They needs to understand their responsibility. So with always the freedom, responsibility will be coming. We need to understand it. We can use this particular idea in GS paper number 2 as well as in GS paper number 4 and even essay. Okay, so this is about the quotation for today. And now let's take the first article. Okay, so the first article, guys, we have taken from text and context section, and the article is talking about what is the open source seed movement. What is this open source seed movement? Now this is a good concept, and such kind of concepts are potent enough that questions can also be framed on it, even in both prelims examination as mains examination. We'll see this particular article, guys, with respect to GS paper number 3. GS paper number 3, issues related to agriculture. Innovation. Fine, agriculture, innovation. We'll see this particular article. Now, even for prelims examination, question can be formed. Now let's, guys, understand this particular thing. Now, basically, when we talk about the most basic thing that we need for our survival is the food, and farmers are responsible for growing food from so many of the centuries. Now what farmers have done, farmers throughout the centuries, they have conserved many varieties of seeds. They have innovated, okay, on many variety of the seeds, and never they claimed any intellectual property right on a particular type of a seed. Okay, that we have conserved this seed for so many years and we owe an IPR on that. Or if they have innovated certain type of seeds, they have not claimed any IPR on that. Moreover, they have also not claimed any rights on the germplasm. Now what is germplasm, guys? So germplasm refers to any genetic material. Okay, it refers to any genetic material. It can be the seed, it can be plant tissue, it can be other genetic resources which are used in the plant breeding. Germplasm can also be used to develop higher plant varieties. Okay, when two different type of plants are crossed together each other. Okay, so hybrid variety of seeds, new plant varieties, all these things can be created by using the germplasm, which could be seed, it could be plant tissue, or it could be any such kind of a thing. So farmers have conserved these germplasms, seeds, etc. without claiming any right on that. But now guys, what has happened over the past few years, we have seen that there are the big multinational seed companies, fine, which have come. What they are doing, they are taking the normal seeds and they are doing some kind of a genetic manipulation in these seeds, and they are coming up with the hybrid variety of seeds. Okay, they are going for the scientific plant breeding. Okay, and after going for the scientific plant breeding, they come out with such kind of new plant varieties or such kind of seeds which have better production, which have better protection against the climate, against the pest, and all such kind of a thing. And then these companies claim the IPR, intellectual property right, on these seeds. You might be knowing the name of Monsanto, which is one such big US MNC. Okay, fine. So this is something that is going on. Moreover, what then they say, they demand royalty. They demand royalty, that if a particular variety of seed they have made, you need to buy that seed from them. And if, guys, let's take one example. Suppose this is a field, there is no crop growing right now, and let's say there is a Monsanto. Now what Monsanto has done, let's say Monsanto has made BT cotton. Now I need to buy the seeds from them and I need to pay money. Okay, fine. Okay, I use this particular seeds and let's say the cotton is growing in my field. Now next year, let's say I want to use the seeds derived from my field only. Okay, because the seeds will be derived from here only. Let's say I want to use these seeds, then also I have to give the royalty to these companies. So what they have done, they have claimed the rights on these seeds, they want royalty, and they are legally enforcing these rights. And even World Trade Organization, WTO, okay, in its trade related IPR agreement has asked the countries, has required the countries that they need to give intellectual property right protection to these plant breeders, to these companies who are making such kind of seeds. So they have also been given protection under WTO, and companies are bound to give it. This is something that is happening. Now guys, when we talk about the protections that are given to these companies, there are the plant breeders rights. Okay, now guys, understand this particular thing. Suppose I am a farmer and I have, let's say, I want to experiment on some high yielding variety seed. Okay, I want to do hybridization at my own. Okay, I need to take risk, I need to take permission, I need to take approval from the plant breeder original who had made that particular seed, or who is having IPR on that particular seed. Okay, so now understand this thing, what it is doing, it is restricting the farmer's rights, it is restricting the farmer's freedom to develop new varieties of seeds using the germplasm. Why? Because they are IP protected, I cannot do any innovation on that. It is restricting the farmers have to pay money. Okay, and all such kind of things are going on. So now what has happened, this open source seed movement has become popular. Now what is this open source seed movement? So open source seed movement is a very simple idea. They say this particular thing, that there should not be any patenting of seeds. Okay, seeds should be brought under open source license, nobody should patent it. Okay, and it has also been provided that the farmers should be given the seeds, but if you want, you don't allow farmers that they further go and do some further trading of that particular seed, but such IPR restrictions should not be imposed. So this is the open source seed movement that is right now has been in the news, and many of the farmer groups, many of the farmer advocacy groups in India, in Canada, in US, and in many other countries are leading this particular kind of agenda. Okay, so this is all guys about this article. I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to next article. The NPCI's new circular on levy charges. Okay, so guys, what has happened, just a couple of days back a news report got leaked that now the NPCI's transactions will be charged. The transactions above 2000 rupees will be charged. There will be 1.1% levy that will be there. Now there was a lot of confusion that where this 1.1% levy will be imposed. If let's say I'm sending money to you through UPI Bhim, And if I am, let's say, sending you 3,000 rupees, will there be 1.1% levy? Do I need to pay extra? Will you be getting 1.1% deduction in the amount that you will be receiving? What was the case? There was a lot of confusion. Now the NPCI has cleared all this particular thing. So basically, guys, the NPCI has provided. Now NPCI, who is NPCI? NPCI is the organization which governs the UPI. It runs UPI, it runs BHIM, it is the one which has made national financial switch, RuPay debit card, all such kind of things. And they have clarified this particular thing, that this charge will be applicable for PPI merchant transactions. PPI merchant transaction. So let's understand that what is this PPI merchant transaction. Okay, now guys, let me explain you with the help of a very simple example. Now you might have used the Paytm. You might have used the Paytm app. What you can do, you can directly use the Paytm app, and what you can do, fine. Basically, guys, you can use the Paytm app, and directly Paytm is an interface. You can transfer money from your bank account to some another person's bank account. This is one way. Okay, so when you go and when you buy certain goods from a shop, that shop owner asks you that you can scan this QR code. When you scan this QR code, what you can do, directly you can send the money from your bank account to that particular person's bank account. This is one process. Okay, A process. Then there is B process. What is B process? Sometimes, guys, what we do, we upload, we store some money in Paytm wallet. So there is a Paytm wallet also. What you will do, you will use your debit card, or you will use your account, okay, and some money will be stored in your Paytm wallet, let's say 1,000 rupees, and then from this 1,000 rupees we are making the payments. Okay, this is case B. So basically, when you are, now these are called as the prepaid payment instruments. So when you are storing the money in these wallets, Paytm wallet or any other such kind of a wallet, and when you use the money there in this transaction, fine, 1.1% charge will be levied, and this 1.1% charge will be levied on the transactions above 2,000 rupees. If you are storing more than 2,000 rupees in your Paytm in one transaction, then that charge will levy, and that charge has to be paid by merchant, not by you. It has to be paid by merchant. Okay, so what are the prepaid payment instruments? Okay, it is a payment method that can be used to purchase goods and services. Obviously, you can purchase goods and services by the Paytm money. You can send that, you can receive, but that money is stored in the wallet. Users have to preload the wallet with the desired amount. So these transactions will be charged at 1.1%. Okay, and this charge will only be levied if the value is 2,000 or more for the transaction. Fine. So this is all about it, guys. Okay, I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to next article. Political leaders cannot claim higher immunity, Supreme Court. Political leaders cannot claim higher immunity, Supreme Court. Now, let me tell you guys little bit of a background of this particular article. We'll see this article with respect to the GS paper number 2. So let me tell you first of all the background of this article. So basically, MPs, MLAs, they are given immunity. Okay, for example, they cannot be arrested, okay, during the session of the House. 40 days after the session of the House, they cannot be arrested. Fine, and all such kind of things. There are the immunities. Okay, so for example, the immunities for the MPs are contained in article number 105. Now, basically, the opposition members, what they have done, they have filed a petition in Supreme Court. And in this particular petition, they have asked the Supreme Court that right now, ruling party is targeting us. It has been said that what has happened now, the ruling party is using the enforcement directorate, is using the CBI, and the cases are being filed against the opposition leaders, and they are being arrested. Criminal proceedings are being filed against the opposition leaders, and specifically those leaders are being targeted who have used their fundamental right and has disagreed or had shown their dissent against the government. So these political opposition leaders are being targeted and they are being arrested. And these leaders then, so what happened actually, these 14 parties and their political leaders reached the Supreme Court, and they said that they want a higher immunity from investigation, arrest, and prosecution. They should be given a higher immunity. Now guys, already in this particular direction, Supreme Court has said this particular thing, that basically it has been provided that first of all, the immunities against the arrest etc that has been given to the MPs and MLAs, they are only for the civil cases, not the criminal cases. Civil cases are the cases of property dispute etc. Okay, criminal cases you don't have, but they still want that even in criminal cases the higher immunity should be given. Or the political parties have said that a kind of a triple test should be brought when an MP or MLA is being arrested. What is MP? What is this triple test that they are talking about? They are saying that number one, they should only be arrested when there is a when they should only be arrested when there is a flight risk. Okay, you need to see that whether a person can run away. If yes, then only that person or MP or MLA should be arrested. Then is there a reasonable apprehension of tampering with evidence? Can that person temper the evidence if you leave him free? If yes, then you can arrest. Influencing or intimidating the witness. If that person will be out, will influence the witness. If yes, then you can arrest it. So only in these three conditions should be one when the MP or MLA should be arrested. Otherwise, they should not be arrested, because CBI and ED is deliberately arresting them because they are critical of government. This protection they wanted. Okay. Moreover, they also said that bail should be rule. Jail should only be exception. Now, in this particular capacity, guys, Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court had said? Supreme Court had said that no special immunity will be given to them. So Supreme Court have said this particular thing, that these political leaders, MP and MLA, they stand absolutely, just a minute, they stand absolutely on the same footing as the ordinary citizens of India. They are not entitled to any higher immunity from investigation, arrest or prosecution. So nothing such special treatment is given to them. So this is guys all about this particular article. I hope guys that you have understood it. And one more thing I would like to tell you, that you can please download these notes from the Telegram channel if you want. Now moving to the next article. The takeaways from the UN World Water Conference. The takeaways from the UN World Water Conference. Now, so this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 3, GS paper number 1. In GS paper number 1, resources are mentioned. Okay, as well as GS paper number 3. Now guys, if you remember, a couple of days back we have already seen this similar development. So actually what has happened, let me tell you some background first. So recently World Water Conference was held, and this World Water Conference has been held nearly around after 50 years, exactly 46 years. So this World Water Conference was held recently. So it was the freshwater convention in almost 50 years, as I have told you. Now, basically why this World Water Conference has been held? First of all guys, let me tell you one thing. Very clear, there is a saying that if a third world war ever happened, it will happen due to the water. Moreover, due to the environmental issues today, flooding, drought, because of the severity of climate change, fresh water availability has become a very big challenge. Many fresh water bodies are shrinking. Okay, many places unexpected floods are coming. So we need to manage water very judiciously and very carefully. Now what has happened? This conference was also done because guys, there was the water action decade 2018 to 28 that is being observed. Water action decade. Now what is the progress of the different countries on the water action decade? To review that thing, to check that particular thing also, this particular conference was taken up. Now understand this thing. There is a sustainable developmental goal number 6, which concerns the water resources, and the countries are coming together so to ensure that all the sub targets under the sustainable developmental goal 6 are met. We are able to deal with water as a collective resource, and sustainable management of water should happen. Proper sanitation should be given to all people. This is all about it. Now guys, what is the outcome of this particular conference? So the outcome of this particular conference is that there was international water action agenda that was adopted. India has also agreed to this international water action agenda. Now under this agenda, governments such as our government, multilateral institution, MNCs, business owners, NGOs, they have given around 670 commitment that we will be doing these things in order to ensure that water challenge is dealt with. Okay, now understand this particular thing, guys, that yes, they have taken these commitments, but are these commitments binding on them? No. So they are not legally binding, they are completely the voluntary targets. Now you are not required to read all these 670 targets. We will see that what India has talked about, okay, the broad targets and what India has talked about. So broadly, guys, it is being provided that by 2030 $114 billion per year will be incurred, will be invested to ensure the water management is happening properly, to ensure the sanitation is being given properly, and to ensure that sustainable developmental goal number 6 is met. So universal, safe, affordable, equitable access of water is to be given to everyone. For that, we need to invest $114 billion per year, and the countries will mobilize this particular money. Now World Bank has also provided this particular thing that for basic sanitation, WASH. What is WASH? WASH stands for water and sanitation service. So for WASH, we need $30 billion per year by 2030. So from $4 billion, $30 billion will be needed purely sirf only here. This is something that is being done. Now guys, this much high commitment that has been taken up, it shows the rigor, thus ambition of the countries, that they actually are very serious on this particular thing. But there is going to be a very big problem. Now what problem will come? Now guys, see, they are talking about how much money they will be mobilizing. $114 billion, this much money they will mobilize. But understand this particular thing, how that money will come, we don't have any concrete roadmap. Moreover, we also need to start valuing the water. Now water is not valued that much. Fine, you see, we are giving free water in the agriculture farms, that is not happening. Metering of the water does not happens properly. Okay, water usage data is not proper. If we don't have water usage data, how to account for the water? Moreover, it has also been provided that from India to Ireland, almost all the countries, fine, whenever the metering of the water, now electricity is metered, but when the metering of water is discussed, then there is a lot of resistance, because people say that it is a basic resource that everybody needs. So that is the problem. Now guys, what is India's commitment? So India had said this particular thing, that India will mobilize $240 billion in the water sector. Now not every year, total $240 billion India will mobilize in water sector. India will provide safe, clean drinking water. For example, we are running Jal Jeevan Mission. Under Jal Jeevan Mission, every rural household is to be given a functional household tap water connection by 2024, and 55 liter of water per person is also to be given. So a lot of infrastructure will be needed, a lot of infrastructure, pipe networks, etc. will be needed. So $240 billion India will mobilize. But understand this thing, that actually the condition of groundwater in India is becoming very much problematic. So what happened in 2021, Controller Auditor General came with a report, and in that report it was said that groundwater extraction in India is actually increased. It increased from 58% to 63% between 2004 to 2017. So we need to understand it very seriously. So now there are certain initiatives, steps also that India has taken, which are good one. For example, number one, revised groundwater bill 2017, which gives the power to the state groundwater boards that they can come out with the laws, they can come out with the regulations for effective management of water allocation. For example, how much water is to be given to industry, how much is to be given to agriculture. So for water allocation, for water management, they can come out with the laws. But the problem is that these state water boards, they are understaffed, they don't have proper expertise, they are actually politicized a lot. There is a lot of social political conflicts that are going on. Now understand this thing, guys, the water has always become a political issue. The moment you will tax it, or the moment you will try to manage it, you will impose some price on it, the government will invite a lot of criticism. So politicization is also there. Now guys, understand there is also one very important issue that has been raised here. See this particular thing, that the article is talking about that, see, we are taking targets to conserve water, yes, but we have also taken the targets to conserve climate. Now when we take the climate targets, they are also often voluntary. For example, INDC, intended nationally determined contribution. These are the targets that were taken by the countries in 2015 in Paris. India has also taken the INDCs. These are voluntary, but they are under the binding agreements. For example, UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So they are being negotiated under that. Fine. So there is a more force that countries will achieve it. Now, when we talk about this 2023 water conference that was held, fine, 2023 water conference that was held. Now, this particular water conference, it was held in the context of SDG 6, Sustainable Developmental Goal number 6. It was not held within the UN Water Convention. It was not held within the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe Water Convention 1992. So because of this particular thing, legal force will be missing here. Legal force will be missing here. Okay, this is something that is there. But voluntary commitments, etc., that are being taken, this is good thing. This is encouraging. Now the countries should focus on proper execution of all these things. Fine. So this is, guys, all about this particular article. I hope that you have understood it, and now we'll move to next article. The obstacles against humane policing. The obstacles against the humane policing. So guys, recently we have seen that there was a kind of a human right violation case that was reported from Tamil Nadu, that one of an IPS officer has harassed. Okay, so basically the article is saying that when we talk about the policing in India, policing is not a kind of a service, rather it is a force, and force is often used to terrorize someone. But this is a wrong perspective towards the policing. Policing needs to be a service. People, they feel threatened while approaching the police, but it is wrong. They should feel empowered, they should feel protected. So we need to have a humane policing in India. Now, so the article is saying that this case in Tamil Nadu that had happened, it has embarrassed the state government, it has embarrassed the police hierarchy, and it should send a strong message to the police establishment, police complaint authority, that what they need to do to ensure that the police personals are behaving nicely with the people. They should not do such kind of things. Now the article is saying that when we talk about the history of policing is marked with the episodes of excess. Fine, they don't deal with the people nicely. When we talk about USA happens to be one of a country which has many instances of police torture. Fine, recently the Floyd case happened in US, where the Black Lives Matter campaign got started. However, the policing in Europe and UK is more civilized. In India also, we have find that often the policing is not that good. Many times brutality are there. There are a lot of cases of torture, and these cases go unreported. It is being said that many number of times police harass women also. Only and the number of cases that are being filed, it shows it is only 10% of the complaints are actually being registered. In 90% of the cases, if the police personnel has misbehaved, that case is not being filed, because people think how you can file a complaint against police in the police station. This is something that is there. Now the article is saying that there is no guarantee that this police brutality will go away. It is going to increase. Why? Understand this thing, that guys, when we talk about the policing, often police also has a lot of pressure. Fine, there is a lot of work responsibilities on them. They are understaffed, they are underfunded. So it has been said that as average policeman is subjected to from his higher ups. Now see this thing, police personnel, they are being pressured, work pressure is there, then political interference is there, and many number of times the political people, the people who have the power, they use police as a weapon to discipline certain type of people. So till the time this pressure will not be eased, policemen, you cannot expect that they will be behaving humanely. So it has also been said, moreover guys, it is also being said that there also a philosophy that goes that physical force is important for controlling the misbehaving citizen, but it has been said that it is not a correct thing. Okay, just by using the force you cannot improve the quality of policing. So now the question is to be asked that is there solid training in ethics right now at the time of induction? Are they given the ethics, proper ethics teaching or not? If not, then they are not going to behave properly. So this is something that we need to focus, we need to deal, we need to inculcate ethics in them. Okay, so this is guys all about this particular article. Beyond that, nothing more is given. Now we'll be moving to the next article. A long view of South Asian drama. Okay, we'll see this article with respect to the GS paper number 2, India's foreign policy, India's international relation with the neighbors particularly. Now guys, actually what this article is all about, this article is talking about a research paper. Okay, so there is a paper written by K. Subramanian. Okay, and the paper is titled as India's relation with her neighbors. So it is talking about this paper. It is a strategic paper. Okay, India's relation with her neighbors. Now the article is talking about this particular thing, that see, India is situated in South Asia region, and India always talks about just a minute. Yes, so India is situated in the South Asia, and it constitutes an integrated civilizational area where we have shared religion, we have shared language, shared cultural tradition, blood ties. Okay, and these shared relation, cultural blood ties are shared between three countries actually: India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, because they were the undivided India. They were the Indian subcontinent. That is something that is there. Now guys, understand this thing, that India always talks about this shared religion, culture, heritage, people to people ties, everything. But India's neighbors always challenge India. Okay, India's neighbors, they challenge India, as well as they are also many number of times supported by the Western scholars. They say this thing, that you are talking about Indian integrity, etc., but you were never united before the Britishers came. They were the Britishers who united you for the first time. So they say that India was never united before the British. Okay, so what integrity it is talking about? But often these scholars, they fail to understand this particular thing, that before 3 or 4 centuries there was no nation state anywhere in the world. Okay, what you are talking about India, anywhere in the world nation states were not there. This idea is something which has come around 19th century, and in 20th century India also became then. Now then the article is talking about that, see, India should not focus on what their neighbors are. Now Pakistan, China, they are specifically criticizing India on certain specific issues. So it has said that India should focus on growing in economic terms, technological terms, and as it will grow, the neighbors will adjust themselves with the Indian reality. They will not be using China, okay, or extra regional powers against India. They will understand that India is bound to grow, and they will adjust over with this particular reality as the time will pass. Moreover, the article is also saying this particular thing, that India should develop military power side by side, so that it can shield itself from the turbulence, from the troubles, crisis that is going in the neighborhood. And it is being said that rather India focusing on the neighbors in the South Asian region, India should focus on building relations with the powerful countries such as China, Russia, US, industrialized world. That is something which India should be looking on. And it has also been said that, see, always what happens, Pakistan wants that India should not play an active role in multilateral groupings such as SARC. India should not play an important role. But Pakistan is not understanding this thing, that India is the country which has given the stability to the organizations such as SARC. So the article is proposing that for the time being, India should start playing a key role. And the moment when India will play a key role, the Pakistan automatically will understand that what was the importance of India. And Pakistan will then request India to again come and play an active role. So this is a kind of a strategy that India should use. Moreover, then article is saying that reciprocity is a basic requirement for cooperation. What is reciprocity? Reciprocity means, see, that I do something good for you, and then I expect that you also do something good for me. That is reciprocity. If somebody has done some good thing, something good, you revert it back with the goodness. That is reciprocity. It is a very basic principle for cooperation. River water cooperation. Now countries need to cooperate. They need to cooperate on river water, natural resource issue. They need to exchange a lot of information, data on many things. So that will only be done if there is a reciprocity, if both countries are cooperating with each other. But India can also go sometimes extra miles and can be generous. India can give more than what it is getting. So these are certain things that India should be focusing, and these should be made as the constituents in India's foreign policy right now. So this is the advice that has this is the main points that have been contained in this particular paper, India's relation with her neighbor. So this has largely talked about that. So that is all guys about this particular article, and now we'll move to next article. Supreme Court says critical views on government policies, not anti-establishment. Okay, now guys, what actually happened few months back, there was a Malayalam news channel, fine, Media One. Now this particular channel was asked to go off air. Why? Because it was said that this particular channel has basically streamed certain views which were critical of the government. Okay, this is something that happened. Now guys, now what has happened, this particular matter has reached to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has said this particular thing, that the critical views about the government, about the government policies, cannot be termed as anti-establishment. They cannot be termed as anti-national. The court has said that independent press is very important for robust functioning of a democratic republic. If independent press is not there, how the citizens will be informed, how citizens will be empowered? So press has a duty to speak truth. Okay, and then the press should not be fearful about the power. The press needs to give the fact. Okay, there is not necessary that there needs to be the homogenized view that everybody is praising the government only. Some press, some organizations can be critical also. Okay, this is something that is there. So if there will be homogenized view, if everybody is singing in the same tone, then actually it is a danger to democracy, and it should be avoided. Okay, so this is all guys about this particular article. Fine, I hope that you have understood. Nothing more than that. You don't need to go beyond that. Fine, so this is all about it. And now let's take the main practice question for today. Why India needs to revise the legal and institutional framework to move towards a smart policing? Discuss in the context of recent episode of police excesses. So this will be a 10 marker question in the context of GS paper number 2, police reforms. Okay, so that is all guys about it. Okay, and moving to and guys, just one thing I want to tell, that basically from in this week there were certain days I was not able to stream. The issue is that little bit health is not fine. Okay, so that is the thing. And guys, if you have liked the video, please do hit the like button, and please do help our channel to reach to the people who will find it beneficial. And if you have liked, and if you wanted this, and if you want to convey something, you can comment that thing in the comment box. Okay, so that is all for today. Now we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, thank you so much.